We're go. Cool. So, uh, folks, sitting here, Sergeant Clark, on behalf of Liberty 56, with episode 1 of Liberty 56 podcast. Fitting, perfect episode for me. That episode 1 comes with my guest today. Super lucky to have these guys. I got the ACE Vice President. It's Airman Council exec, right?
Yes, for the Vice President of ACE for the wing,
Awesome.
Senior Airman William Keiffer.
And I also have an LRS ACE member, brand new to the actual council. They just held re-elections, Airman Lefevra. Lefevra.
Nailed it.
Got it. So this is, well, aside from it being fitting that we're all in the same room, it's not so fitting where I don't have an actual studio, so we're in the lactation room of the LRS. But it's a really nice. This is a really nice room.
It's got a good feng shui to it. Feel relaxed.
So just keep that in mind if you're out there in LRS and you need to do any kind of lactation business. It's a beautiful room. We've got a microwave fridge in here. It's got a very welcoming feel to it. So why in God's name do I have you here? Why am I talking to you guys? I want to get your perspective, and I want you on like repeat customers. Eventually, I want to get to, hopefully each and every person on RAF Awakening. But great place to begin. I want to get the airman perspective on all kinds of things that is RAF Awakening and the Air Force in general. We're going to talk about leadership, morale. We're going to talk about recognition, what it means to you, resilience, and just being young, because us at the 5-6 often forget what that feels like because the Air Force ages you. So let me ask, and we'll start. Airman Lefevra, you're obviously brand new to the ACE Council. You're representing us here at LRS. But what can I ask? Just a general question. What made you want to go ahead and be part of that? And what's your position? I didn't even ask.
So my position is the treasurer. I wanted to join and be part of it because I noticed that the morale in the squadron was going down, and I had some good ideas. So I figured I'd bring it to the council and see what I could do.
And you got elected.
Yes.
That's awesome. Aaron Keiffer, how long have you been into your business there at ACE?
I have been representing as the ACE Vice President for about a year now. When I first settled in 48 OSS, I kind of was in a place where starting to get better at my job, get a lot of good basis for it, and having that foundation in my career where I know I can still provide the best kind of servant leadership in that regard. And I figured I need to kind of spread out, try to expand my own little repertoire of skills. And ACE, oddly enough, blasted an email on our distro, which I now get to manage for a lot of people on our base. And through that line of information, saw the opportunity, talked with my leadership, put in an application, and now I'm here.
That's perfect. Those are perfect things to what I want to get into today, because on one hand, Keiffer, you're talking about representing, and I mean roughly 60% of the base is represented by airmen in the airman category. And then Lefevra, you're talking about motivating and bringing up morale, because 60% of the base working at low morale is pretty much no-go. Nothing will get done, and our labor force it will be. That's a huge detriment. Yeah. So speaking of that, first let's get it out of the way. I got to put plugs in here. There's not that many, but we'll get those pesky plugs out of the way. Want to talk about the Airman's Attic. They're dying for volunteers. Guys, if you're looking for a bullet and you're not already on the ACE Council, first off, you should be very involved with ACE. That's your voice of the voiceless. But go ahead and put some hours into the Airman's Attic. Everybody knows when it comes Blues Day, you're going to be missing that one little holder on your Blues, and you pop over to the Airman's Attic. 9 times out of 10, they'll have something for you. Or you forget your pants at the gym, go to the Airman's Attic, piece of cake. So we all want that to stay open. It's on the verge of closing because they don't have a lot of volunteers. So please, if anything, for God's sakes, do it for a bullet. Why not? And then I honestly think, that's really about it as far as the plugs go. Go out and support your 5-6, go out and support your ace. But to get into your guys' mindset is why I asked you here today. And I'm just very simply, let's go like a word association. I'm just gonna name off some key phrases that we hear every day, and I want your take, as well as the folks you're representing, whether it be the airmen here at LRS, the airmen at OSS, just your general airmen, 60% of the base, and I'm estimating that, but majority of the base airmen. And I want to get what you think their takes are. Okay?
Nothing like a verbal ink blot test.
Like a verbal ink blot test, yeah. First ink blot, I'm talking about a word that is brand new to me. It's only floated around for a couple of years. Toxic leadership. To me, toxic was just a vat that you don't want to be dumped into. And so now the word has kind of made its way into common tongue, and elaborate on that to educate an old man here.
I would say me coming in about mid 2019, already having buddies who had joined up, been serving, got one of my best friends out in Cannon Air Force Base right now. That verbiage and terminology had already begun kind of rearing its ugly head for sake of identification, honestly. And growing up with that in the Air Force wise has kind of made it aware, and I'm thankful that it's something that is talked about. Way too common in many hierarchical systems, be that job environments and civilian side, or especially military side. You get the best and worst of strong, centralized leadership. Everyone knows a chain of command. Everyone knows who you report to and who they report to, up and down, and that's vital to our success. And if that chain is corroding in some capacity, everyone knows the old adage of a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. And if you are seeing less than considerate, less than attentive, and less than caring leaders, you're going to see an erosion in so many facets that comes to performing the mission. And you kind of highlighted in the beginning of this podcast here is morale. If you don't have the people who can do the job, you're not going to be having a performing job in the first place. And I know I'm kind of talking around the subject about my own opinion, but it can be a very sensitive and nuanced issue, really depending on everything. Everyone has heard the anecdotes. Everyone's checked out the oh so famous Facebook pages for all the examples. And while a lot of those can be taken in different contexts and maybe are spoken with about anonymity, it's rough because we have to always deal with these kind of convoluted stories. And I think the best thing we are seeing now is frontline supervisors, squadron leadership, all the way up to the group wing, and so on and so forth, are being responsive to feedback, listening, and being more proactive to issues that could arise and reactive to things that they're finding. I know our current 48 Fighter Wing commander, Colonel Camilletti, has made it a forefront to tackle a lot of the issues, even from his first opening when he got here on base, replacing the previous commander, highlighting a lot of issues and these different aspects that make environments toxic. And yeah, and long-winded, I know, but
I get the idea. You're talking about the toxic leadership. I just clicked in my brain. That toxic part is that's like a spreading, something you don't want to spread.
Mhm.
That's what we mean by toxic. If you're going to be toxic all by yourself. But we want to spread good vibes. Yeah, we
Mhm.
want to spread that morale and gung ho attitude, that kind of thing. However, without naming any names, please, because we're in the same squadron. I don't want to get in trouble either. But do you have a take on your experience? First off, well, how long have you been in the Air Force?
I've been in the Air Force just over 2.5 years, so
Nice.
I'm still new to it, but
Sure.
old enough to like know.
Have you worked on the outside? You had any jobs on the outside or
Yes.
straight in? Yeah,
Yes.
that's good. That's awesome because it gives you a perspective on what your values are, how much you value this job. So I really like that in an airman. But I would say maybe not so much compared to your previous jobs because this is a whole nother entity. Um, but how are you viewing in your 2 years? How are you viewing leadership?
Overall, the leadership has been pretty great. There are a
Nice.
few weak links, that could obviously improve. But for the most part, it's good. And I feel like the leadership, if they do notice that they're lacking in something, they do try to like step up and fix it upon themselves. So
Nice. For my part, I am one of those leaders that you guys are talking about. So I on you know from the staff and tech positions, we tell you guys all the time that we make mistakes. We're human. We've got things going on at home just like you guys do. Um, but at the same time, um, it's important for us, I think, uh, to adapt. Yeah, if the culture's changing around you, you adapt to that, um, and that's just the way it has to be. Um, and what you just said about the awareness of that toxic leadership is it's like a trending word or a thing that people are aware of and they're not afraid to necessarily address. Um, that's cool. That's good because if you don't identify a problem, goodbye. It's gonna keep rolling on, right?
Mhm.
Um, uh, let's jump right from there into resilience. Yeah, because there's some things that suck that you're just not that you just either especially you guys being in the position you are, you just don't have the power to change. You don't have the influence to change the things that are around you. But your environment, especially nowadays and in the coming days, we're going to have to embrace some of the suck, right? um, but that's going to take some resilience. We have resiliency training, but what does it mean to you guys? And keep in mind um, that I want to say there's no hard facts here, but things like suicide, depression, anxiety, those are all huge factors in today's Air Force.
Mhm.
What does that look like from where you guys are?
One thing I definitely latched onto with what you just said there is the sensation and feeling of not being able to affect your immediate environment.
Sure.
And that comes with the territory. We are serving an obligation. We all, as everyone says, raise the hand, said the same oath, and we're all doing our penny and dime to help our country and do our jobs. And it can be very easy to get lost in the day-to-day performing your job, especially lower enlisted. It doesn't seem like you have that immediate impact. I definitely, when I first came in doing 48 FSS, did some CSS work, was training, trying to learn everything. I felt that level of not helplessness, but inability to act.
You're on the boat. Somebody else has the wheel. You just enjoy the ride, brother.
Exactly. But I challenge my peers and myself to not fall into that idea that you can't affect change at your level. If if airmen are the foundation of any work center, of any unit, any base, that's where change needs to start, especially through feedback, process improvement, identifying those core things, finding those boulders that your leadership can move or help you move will not only help you grow your skills as a budding leader, one of the main tenets we try to promote at ACE is development. And I know that's a thrown out word for so many different things. And we develop you for this, develop you for that. But giving you the tools to affect that change is in of itself a level of resiliency. Because if you can do that in your work center, you can start applying that to the rougher parts, especially for us, a lot of us overseas. Myself, first time, I've been to Canada like twice. Beyond that, States like full through. Being over here, it is rough. It has a lot of unique challenges. Not a lot of us have had with recent pandemic conditions, the ability to travel.
The pandemic, the escalating tensions around the world. Sure.
Our service obligations, we are serving in one of the forefront areas for action and military projection in USAFE, near peer threat activity. We have obligations to our NATO allies and our host nation, all these people part of this intricate security agreement and kind of Western democratic society that we are helping to support. It's hard. I don't think anyone doesn't feel the challenge being over here. If you are, holy shoot, please tell me what your job is. I would love to know. But I firmly believe that if we start tapping into our ability to affect the change in our environment and find that support system, we'll see that keyword you've been saying, resiliency.
If you don't like something, change it and do your best to change it yourself. And there again, what I preach to my guys about resiliency is it's not bought with a pizza. It's not time off alone in your room. A lot of it, and this goes more into morale, which we'll cover in a second. But a lot of it is getting help and getting power from other people as well. I mean, we're all, like you said, we're all in the same boat, and no, there's not things we can change, but we do have a power there, so that's cool. That's cool.
So he pretty much hit it
Yeah.
straight on for me. I can definitely feel him on the challenging part, especially with the whole pandemic. You know, you got like suicide and all that lockdown and all that stuff. So that can be challenging. Then those times make you feel alone. So I for sure think that coming together and working as a group or a council is definitely helping.
The airmen's, I mean, the airmen's influence on each other, and this is from the staff and tech position, is going to be greater than any motivational speech that God bless them. I love the speeches that the chiefs and the officers and the commanders and that command level leadership they can preach to you and get you riled up, hopefully till they're blue in the face. But it's really that bond is really with among the airmen. It's linear, yeah. So that's awesome that you guys say that. And let's not forget that all the avenues that we have, aside from just friends and family, there's ADAPT, there's MFLAC, there's all kinds of avenues. If you don't have that relationship that you can feel that outlet with, there's healthy outlets. There's healthy ways to talk to people. There's places you can go, chaplain. But I think people know about all those.
Oh, I can attest to that personally.
Sure.
Way back in the wee hours of 2020, I had received a tasking. First one was like 5-6 months on station. Real excited for it, and I submitted some leave to fly back to the States. See mom and dad. Get that last check-in with home before I go and do my time where I need to go. I kid you not. I was in the taxi in front of the dormitories when I get a phone call from the superintendent of my squadron asking me where I am because the country had just locked down for COVID.
Wow, that's crushing. Man.
Yeah,
that sucks.
It does. No way to spin it. And I can attest that if there's one thing I received across the board from my immediate shop upwards was support.
Nice.
Everything from my coworker in my office, my wingman, just talking to me about it and helping me through it and being there for me, to my superintendent coming down to our office, offering me all the advice in the world, willing to help me get back any price on my ticket, anything. There is that level of distance when it comes to squadron and group leadership,
Sure.
that they can't be that level of personal,
Sure.
but they still have ways where they can be proactive in their leadership and help people. And it's something I will always be drawn to in leaders and try to emulate myself.
I got a group of 12 brand new tech schoolers under my wings, my flippers when I
Woo.
first got here, and I'm so proud of those guys. That I mean, it's only been a year and a half, but they've grown so much, and I've just had the pleasure of uh, helping them, and that's my main thing. I preach to them all the time. I say, look, I am your lawyer. So if you do anything wrong, call your lawyer first. I am your psychologist or your mentor. If you need any life skills help, come to me. I know a guy who knows a guy. If you need anything at all, I want to be involved in not only just your professional career. I don't just want to see you get BTZ and Airman of the Quarter. I want to see you live the dreams that make you Airman or John Jones Airman. I don't know your first name.
William.
William Keiffer, not Airman Keiffer. I want to see William Keiffer do the things that make William Keiffer happy. Not so much the Air Force. That comes with my job. But
Of course.
as a supervisor, as a generally a good person, I want to help out.
That's the unique aspect of active duty, though. If
Sure.
if you work civilian life, unless you have some very interesting jobs,
Why
like
would I?
yeah, no, active duty, we are immersed in our job and serve it 24/7.
Yeah.
We get paid 1st and 15th every month because we are working the 1st and 15th every month through those days. And having leadership that is willing, not saying they need to like move into your house, know your
Sure.
dog's name, all that, but having that active and participatory leadership who wants to be involved in their airmen and troops' lives for the sake of improving it is admirable and worth its weight in gold.
Trying to build a healthy environment. What's the opposite of toxic? Non-GMO.
Yeah,
Trying to build a non-GMO
not
environment.
GMO. This is open range.
Yeah, just fresh,
fresh,
good, crisp.
free range leadership.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think you guys in the wing ace, you're trying to do first Friday of every month. Something you're going for?
Yes. So with a lot of the one unique aspect of Lake and Heath that most people who are in an overseas environment will understand is we have PCSs, we have a lot of people moving in and out of the base, and it leads us to be very flexible. And thankfully, as a part of our constitution, we do have the ability to restructure how we do our monthly meetings, especially in respects to operational tempo and requirements that we have for wearing this camo that we have. And as a part of that, we have been moving around when we are going to be having our set in stone monthly meetings that are accessible to anyone in RAF Lake and Heath. It's not just E4 and below. We've had chiefs, we've had majors, we've had the whole 9 yards. Representatives of the Shirts Council, 5-6, always great support. And shout out Chief Master Sergeant Blamberg, the OG Chief Master Sergeant. She is a wonderful mentor, not only to me personally, but also us as a group. And it's phenomenal. And it's something we have been actively working with because as ace, from squadron level to wing, everything in between, we are only representatives of our community. The community of airmen have the best ideas. They have the best understanding what's immediately going on in their lives, and we want to tap into that, and we crave that feedback.
That's awesome. That's it. I'm glad you said that. I mean, you guys today, and I hate to say it because I think so much of myself, but you guys today are so much smarter than we are. Maybe not in terms of the mission. Sometimes, believe it or not, us staffs and techs know what we're talking about,
Mhm.
but you guys are so much. You have so much more capabilities. I'm so jealous about when I hear everybody and their mom talking about cryptocurrency and real estate, and I just feel like a dummy. Like
Uh,
I have, I don't own a house. Somewhere in Nebraska, and I don't have Dogecoin. I don't know what those things mean, and
well,
I kind of want to.
you can't hold yourself too much to the coals for that. Innovation is based off of iteration. To
Oh,
say
you just blew
any
my mind with those.
alliteration's
that was a
great.
rhyme, and I
Yeah.
didn't. You rhymed,
Well,
and those were big
I,
words.
I draw I draw a comparison to The Simpsons. They make the joke The Simpsons have already done everything you
They've
can
done
do on
everything.
TV.
Yeah.
But if someone has already done everything good, bad, indifferent,
You're playing off of that.
why
Yeah,
not?
Gotcha.
Why not? I don't need to reinvent the wheel. I don't need to make those mistakes my leadership mentors and friends have made in the Air Force.
No.
If anything, they can help me improve on that to everyone's benefit. It's great. I love it. This stuff just gets me excited because
I'll try to get.
yeah.
I mean, and keep in mind when you get older. I just talked with another tech about this today. Your values change, and you don't want the same things you wanted when you were in your teens and things like that, and it gets weird. But that's awesome. I'm gonna have another episode later on that's specifically about real estate and cryptocurrency.
Yeah, find
Because,
the Mad Market Hour on the 5-6 podcast.
I know guys, man. They can go all day. It's awesome.
Yeah, education's important, and anything. Ask me a year ago, I wouldn't have told you how to do half the cooking I know how to do, and I just got that from reaching out to friends and other fellow servicemen, women who have helped me just realize that skill.
That's insane.
Now, do I still stick with ramen on occasion on a night? Sure, but it's a great tool I've learned.
We'll do that on another episode. I want to talk. Yeah, I want to talk about diet on another episode. That's a good one. Lefevra, am I wrong about that? About the cryptocurrency and re,
The
real estate business?
I'm with you on that one.
Yeah.
What's your prices NFT you own?
Yeah, that stuff I'm not seeing.
But that's a trending thing. It's like it's this thing we're into, and that's cool. And that's cool. Like there's nothing. I don't see anything wrong with that. That's not a detrimental thing. People aren't overdosing on cryptocurrency, so that's cool. I can dig that.
Respect.
Last thing I will get into, and I'm talking to you, salty senior airman. I want you on this show. I want the saltiest senior airman on this,
That the typical E4 mafia.
E4 mafia.
Man has seen everything.
I want to hear from those guys. No offense to you guys, I appreciate your time, but man, I want to hear from those guys. So if you're out there, give me a ring, send me an email. I want to hear from you guys, and we'll finish up with this subject. And I think it's a huge part of being an airman, and something I hear about all the time. It seems like from airmen, morale, right? What I was referring to earlier was that morale does not come when the commander brings pizza. I mean, yes, that can fill your belly and make you happy for a fleeting few moments, but morale is built, and this is my perspective, can be built in the worst situations. You can have high morale in a shop that just is, in a dingy place that works 12s. I've had morale in an abandoned trailer when I was deployed in Iraq. What's you guys take on morale, and why do we need it? Do you really need it to do your job?
That's a good question. So I don't feel like you necessarily need the morale, but morale definitely ups the workplace.
Sure.
It's good to joke around here and there, but still get the work done.
Sure.
But also not to get too wrapped up into work, and still make sure that you have time for yourself. And to just step out sometimes and just realize, like, oh, like I can crack me a little jokey joke here and there.
Sure.
So
personally, I love the words of encouragement. It's one of the 5 love languages. If you haven't read the book, I encourage it. You can love your fellow airmen without being physical. You can, I give words of support all the time for the guys that do. Granted, I don't champion mediocrity. That'll be in a Chiefs. If I have a Chief on, we'll talk about that. But if somebody's doing a great job, I hail them so much. So recognition, I think that's it was important to my generation. Not so much. You guys will have to elaborate on your guys' part on recognition and morale. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. In my brief blink of an eye experience in the Air Force, morale has been the catch-all definition for, I guess, the fruition or frustration
Why this place sucks.
Yeah.
Why we're not getting this done. Yeah.
Is it kind of the flag you wave whenever there's either a specific or broad scope thing that's frustrating you, shop, squadron, so on and so forth?
Sure.
Makes sense. It's a great word for it.
Easy.
Yeah.
Target.
But I would say morale is. I don't want to like politician speak this
Here's
here.
Here's an example.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Morale is not just time away from work, right?
Morale has its own like fostering in your time off, in your personal moments with friends, family, or yourself, however you kind of coalesce that energy, get the day flowing for you. But it's tried and it's bred truly in the work environment, in the job. If you don't have that foundation in your work environment that helps breed the collective interest in success, the individual desire to put yourself into it, you don't see success. And you see a lot of talk of work-life balance, finding the win every day, all these very nice, flattering ways to talk about morale, but ultimately it either comes from the individual, the unit, or a combination of the two. I myself, I absolutely love 48 OSS. We have a high-speed environment. I'm working a lot of hours. My personal morale, though, comes from the fact that I'm helping my guys and gals every day succeed. We're impacting our own unique aspect of the mission. We are doing something tangible. And after a lot of thought, I identified as that's what helps me get morale. Doing unit functions, awesome. I love that. I'm an extroverted individual by accusation, and that works for me. And talking with some more of the quieter and stronger leaders and members of our squadron, they have their own thing that anchors them to a basis of morale. It gets us through the rough times. It gets us through senior airman EPR seasons where everyone and their sister gets an EPR, and I'm there till 7, but we're doing the job, and I love that.
Can I ask you, do you live in Lefevra in the dorms?
No.
I would love to have a dorm guy on the show. That's
I spent 2 years in the dorms. I can attest to it a little bit.
I just recently moved out.
Oh, really?
Just under a year ago. So.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another place where morale, I hope, lives. In the dorms, because morale. And again, in my own take, what do I know? I've only been in 12 years. But
seen it once or twice.
Yeah, but it's not rank based and it's not group based. It really only takes, and this goes back to toxic environments. It really only takes one person to boost the morale of an entire section. To go and kind of brighten up the mood and just be that super cool guy that puts off a good vibe. On the other hand, it also only takes one guy or gal, rank not included, to put that toxic stuff in the environment, and just make a place a miserable, terrible place, and so while there are influences in managing section from leadership or from whatever rank you may be, there's the influence of morale. I think can come from really anywhere. I don't know if you've seen. There's a car roaming around base with some spray paint on the side. That guy works for me, and so you can just tell that that guy's full of morale, even if you don't want him to be.
There we go.
But
Cripplingly enthusiastic.
yeah, that's and that's cool. And so what I was trying to get at was, you know, morale may not be needed. It's not a requirement to get the job done, but us as leaders, we want the job done, um, not quantitatively, but with quality. And to add quality to that product, um, for example, Willy Wonka, his guys seemed pretty. Happy. They were singing and stuff like that. Great product. If you haven't tried it, Willy Wonka's chocolate, go out and try it. I'm a sponsor for Willy Wonka, so if Willy Wonka wants to send us some, grab bag or any type of chocolate, that'd be
One
great.
golden ticket, please.
Yeah, if you just one, it's fine. But yeah, that's my take. It cannot be bought with hot dogs. It can't be administered with day passes. By the way, please give us day passes. We love those.
Catch us panhandling outside the wing building for
Yes.
day passes.
Day passes are awesome, but they don't build morale. Morale
No.
is built from within. It takes a person who even during a bad day will put on a smile for everyone else, to brighten the mood for everyone else.
Mhm.
And then if you know that guy and he's not smiling, put him up. Give him a hand.
Everyone has to be that light and that motivation in their own way.
Sure.
It takes a diverse set of skills to build a team and to build that spirit in both the individual and collectively. And every single person, no matter your personality, what you got on that like ENTP color chart, whatever it is, every single person can contribute something to build that work environment that's healthy and builds morale. I know my crummy dad jokes on occasion, while they make everyone cringe, probably help on occasion, but everyone can participate, and don't let an interpretation of how you express yourself prevent you from doing that. If you're a quiet individual, I'm sure as crap you can get out there to your job environment, to your squadron, to wing events, anything, and bring something to it. Because you are only a benefit when you go out, put yourself out there and help. Reach out to individuals, reach out to anyone you can, and build that community.
You know what's fun? Everybody has a group chat. We all, safe to say, we're part of a group chat in our work centers, or maybe a couple of group chats.
I think every week I get into a new Facebook group relating to something. It's great. Or WhatsApp. Oh, I love it.
I love
12 notifications right before I go to bed. Wake up with 10 messages.
Nice. Good. Keep your phone on. And keep it on full volume. We might need you at some point.
Right by the ear.
Yeah. But along with that, you know what you could do is just randomly just pick a random person from the group chat and just randomly be like, "How you doing?" They'd be like, "Hey man, just checking up on you. You look tall today, so that was cool.
I like the days where you are your height.
Yeah. Just you look. Saw you wearing that green outfit again. So,
man, camo. Cool. You should wear that more often.
Yeah, it's cool. And then let me elaborate on that morale thing. I did want to hit on the difference between healthy morale and unhealthy morale. I could be a super fun guy and full of morale while I'm bullying someone, and that's not nice. And I don't encourage that in my workplace. And so there's unhealthy, unprofessional, and just unconstituted morale that you should keep in check. So I should rephrase the word morale with healthy morale. Words of encouragement, things like to boost ourselves up and boost each other up, the people around us, things like that. I think that's the healthiest non-GMO, non-toxic type.
There we go. Lead-free.
Nice.
PBA free. But I agree. If morale is what you use during times of adversity and what you get from times of positivity, you got to make sure both of those environments are healthy for you and keep you going.
Yeah.
If it's a toxic aspect in which you're expending yourself day after day after day,
Sure.
and you don't have that healthy foundation to go back to, there needs to be some level at some basis in your environment where that needs to get addressed. And
Yeah.
yeah,
I nip it in the bud right then and there. I say, look, if your vocabulary is only limited to curse words and profanity or uh, what have you, then read a book. Yeah. So
yeah, the English language is such a diverse, like hodgepodge of different ways of saying and expressing ideas, and even like kind of highlighting that negative language, taking your inner frustrations and putting it out into your local universe
put a
in a negative
filter on
way.
for
Yeah,
Think
it's
for a second before you. Yeah.
you're allowed to be frustrated. You're allowed to express your discomfort or issues you're having, but
Sure.
ways to do it.
Yeah. Go in
Every
your car and scream at the top of your lungs, wherever you want.
exactly,
Maybe
that's
make
free.
sure you don't have
That's
any
free.
kids
Ain't
in
no
the
one
back.
gonna charge you for that.
Yeah. But yeah. Open forum. Anything you guys want to add? Let me ask you this. I'm representing 5-6. What do you want from us, huh? What do you look for us for? Okay.
Don't worry, we're not gonna shake you down just yet. But
All right. I'll give you your bullet. Don't worry. Just kidding.
48 Fighter Wing Ace is looking forward to be, let's say, very, very active in the coming parts of the first quarter, beginning of the year, especially when it comes towards wing opportunities and getting in touch with our airman community. And this goes to the tri-base area, as while we are the Lakenheath Ace, we do love, love, love working with our wonderful partners at RAF Feltwell and RAF Mildenhall, especially when we have fun opportunities. Right now, we currently have brewing, hopefully in cooperation with 48 FSS, a wonderful automotive educational opportunity. The current plan is to offer a not only cool way of learning how the heck cars work. I know it has at least one transmission.
Sure.
The tires do go one way or the other, but having those opportunities to tackle those base issues, especially first time car owners, maybe people who have gone through several cars and just don't know how to change their own brakes, not only provide that educational opportunity, but hopefully a cost effective way to get that work done in order to, practice what you've been taught. It's something we're hoping to be publishing official stuff on relatively soon, rough time frame, end of March, early April. And we would love to have 5-6 not only come out and participate, but also see how they can volunteer and tap into their own little network.
You got your first customer right here.
I'll
I've been needing an oil change for like a year and a half, which is probably bad.
Oh,
But you guys can have at it.
it's okay. Don't worry. We'll also change your headlight fluid, rotate your tires horizontally.
Yeah,
It's great.
I mean, it's only a brand new 2020, but that's
2005 yellow Mini Coupe. You'll see me on base.
okay. I don't want to publicize too much, but throw me some ideas of what you were talking about. You came in talking about your fresh ideas for Ace. Not to put you on the spot, but
So
is there anything you'd like to see?
we had mentioned a while ago. So this is actually my second run up in Ace.
Nice.
So the previous group we had mentioned like an airman's dinner for the airmen in the dorms. That let's just face the fact, the DFAC food.
Sure.
It does the job.
It does the job,
yeah,
but
ain't for everyone.
Like a dinner, civvies.
Yes,
that would be
civvies
awesome.
would be nice. We also wanted to try to get like a half day and then maybe do some type of group activity with the squadron to get involved. So
I can tell you, Lefevra. Oh my gosh,
Lefevra. It's
Lefevra.
We'll spell
Airman
on the podcast.
Airman Lefevra. Airman. Insert correct pronunciation here. I can tell you, one of the most successful events we've had in probably the last couple months was hosting a burger burn. Don't worry, they weren't actually burnt, but having a burger grill out outside of the Honeycomb, like 920 dorms, like all those. very successful. I swear I have never blinked so quickly and watched burgers just vanish.
I had a couple of those. Yeah.
No, it's awesome, and I encourage you definitely not only within your LRS ACE, but also help reach out to us. We have the ability financially, manpower wise, to support your ideas and help you lead those events. Because why would we get in the way of someone wanting to improve the airman community on base? Provide them a cool, fun, food filled event. Especially,
That's kind of what we're here
Yeah.
for.
no, I can almost smell donuts when they appear in the office or whenever pizza's being brought around. I am that food motivated guy.
Nice.
And honestly, though, on a serious note, I encourage you not only reach out to the squadron assets you have, but also reach out to us. We have access to a distro with almost, I last count had 900 people on it across ranks, stripes, everything. If you have an idea you need support for, we want to help you realize that action. And we offer that to anyone. When we publish our monthly meetings, come out, give us your ideas, give us the proposals you want us to support, and we will help you however we can or put you in touch with who can help you.
How am I going to follow that as a 5'6" representative? I can't. I mean, I just have to say, yeah, what he said, only 5'6" too.
But
We do the
with
same
with
thing.
1 to 2 extra stripes.
With a little, yeah, we have better houses and stuff.
Exactly. Nothing wrong with that. No, it's 5'6" is also a great organization. If you guys are cultivating the person who I get to work for every day, the person who's going to help me learn my job, help me do my EPR, I can't help but support those organizations because
Awesome.
not only am I reaping the benefits, but like the guy next to me, everyone I'm going to see on base, everyone wins.
It's awesome. Win-win. Today was a win-win. I think there's 3 of us, so that's 3 wins. Awesome. I can't thank you guys enough for doing this. You didn't have
My
to come
pleasure.
out here. But I'm enjoying. We'll have you guys back on. I definitely want to have you back on. For the audience, guys, I want to hear from each and every last one of you here at RAF Lake and Heath.
Especially you. Yeah, you right there.
Look. Anyway, give me a call, Dan. I'll post this out. I'll try to get as far as I can. But thanks for tuning in. See you guys on the next episode.